Today's topic, why aren't you a 10? Hi, I'm Doug Holt, author of Your Own Story, and this is your Daily Growth Hack, where each day we give you a tip, trick, or insight to help you up-level what we call the 5 to thrive. That is your mind, your body, your soul, your relationships, and of course, your business. I just got back from a 3-hour Ruck with a business owner where I did a coaching session with him. Now, if you're not familiar with what a Ruck is really when you fill a backpack up with weight. In this case, it happened to be over 20 pounds, and you go for a walk or a hike, really. And so what we decided to do was meet for one of our coaching sessions and actually do a Ruck, actually do a long walk while we talked and had a conversation. Now, this is important for a couple of reasons. One is I find oftentimes when I'm personally in a kinetic state that actually it frees up a lot. And most people find this, right? So most people find that when we're moving and in movement, we actually are able to access different parts of our brain and our consciousness. And this is a common thing, and science has proven this to be true. Well, during this conversation, I was talking to him about setting his 90-day goals. Like, what are his goals going into Q1 of 2018? So the first quarter, so January 1st to March 31st, what are his goals? So of March 31st, what is he going to want to do? And in this conversation of his 5 to thrive, I started to ask him, well, where are you on these goals? Like, when you set this goal for March 31st, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you? And he was very honest with me and said, I'm about a 7 or an 8 on this scale. And so I asked him the question I'm going to ask you. Why aren't you a 10? Why aren't you a 10 on your goal? If this is your goals in your life, why are you not a 10? What are those reasons? And in that conversation, a lot of things can come up. And in that conversation with yourself, a lot can come up. So look at yourself in your mind. I had a goal of being conversational in Spanish that I did not hit in 2018 or 17, excuse me. Now, one of the reasons I did not hit that is I was never a 10. Every time people would ask me how committed I was to that goal, I almost always said a 7. Now, when I ask myself, why am I not a 10? Why am I not? Now, if I'm not a 10, one of two things I would say happened. One is I picked the wrong goal. 2 is there's something else that's stopping me from hitting my goal. Now, it could be the excuse of balance, and sometimes having balance in your life as the real reason is a real excuse, and it's a valid. But for most people, when I'm doing coaching with them, it isn't. They often use balance as a crutch. Balance is a way of preventing themselves from diving deep into their lives, from diving into their lives in such a manner that allows them to write it as the authors of their own story. And so I'm going to ask you this question: is look at your goals in your 5 to thrive. Now, hopefully you're setting goals, and hopefully you're like me and you're looking at Q1 or 2018 as a whole of your goals. And look at each of those goals and how committed are you really? Be honest with yourself. Stop lying. Be honest with yourself. How committed are you to those goals on a scale of 1 to 10? Now, if you say anything but an actual 10, what I want to know is why. Write down, why are you not a 10? What is it that's the gap between where you are today on that level of maybe it's a 7 like me with Spanish to a 10? What is that gap? And once you answer that question and truly answer it, you can fill that gap. And I'd highly recommend that if you are a 7 or below, that you either change your goal or get recommitted and find out what's preventing you from being a 10. You see, this is your life. You're able to write into your own story any way you want to. And if your goal is something that's not inspiring you, throw it away. Life's too short. It should be inspiring you and allowing you to grow. Now, for me, for example, for Spanish, being a 7 in my conversational Spanish, it's more like I hope it works and I'll put some effort into it, but it's not really a goal. And that's okay too. If you don't want to have a goal in that particular area, that's up to you. This is your story. But here's your coach, as your mentor, as your friend, here talking to you right here and right now. I want you to be 10s in all areas of your life. And that 10 just means a 10 in fulfillment. So what is that 10? Maybe that 10 is you're going to read one book this quarter. Or maybe you're going to learn a foreign language. Or maybe you're going to learn a whole new skill. I don't know. What is it for you? What's fulfilling for you in that area? And in your business, often you hear people throw around, I'm going to 10x my business. I hear that all the time. It's like a buzzword. But what are you really going to do in your business? And oftentimes people say, well, I'm going to get 20, 30, 40 new clients in the first quarter. Well, why? Where are you on a scale of 1 to 10? And they reply, well, Doug, I'm an 8. I'm a solid 8 on that. I don't want it to interfere with my family and things of that nature. That's great. Does it have to interfere with your family? If you're really an 8, what you're telling me is, yeah, if I hit it, that's kind of nice. And if I don't hit it, well, then whatever, I was just an 8 anyway, so I have that excuse to fall back on. You need to have a reason why. There needs to be a reason why behind your goals to allow you to push forward. So today I'm gonna ask you, grab your journal, write out your 5 to thrive, your mind, your body, your soul, your relationships, and of course your business. And then I want you to write out your goals. And then ask yourself, again, don't lie to yourself, ask yourself honestly, where are you on that scale of 1 to 10? And whenever you're not at a 10, ask yourself why. Why are you not at a 10? Is there something you can do to bridge that gap to bring you to a 10? Or do you need to actually switch your goal and completely change it up to something that's inspiring enough that pulls you towards it rather than you having to constantly push towards that goal? Now, as always, what I want you to do is go over to authorofyourownstory.com. Make sure you get on our newsletter if you haven't already, if you're a new listener. And then, of course, share this with 3 friends. This is a great conversation to have where you can do a deep dive into their goals and they can learn to yours. This is what relationships are really about, right? And you can share it with them. And then you can talk together about what numbers you're at and hold each other accountable. Build your tribe. It's often said that, you're basically the sum total of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And you're with me today, and I appreciate that and I value that. But I want you to have more people around you that are supporting you so you can truly live life of your dreams. You deserve to live life on your own terms and a life that's worth writing about. And that's what I want for you. That's it for me today. Go out and inspire someone by simply being the author of your own story. I hope you enjoyed today's Daily Growth Hacks. Please put your comments right down below and remember to click subscribe. This way we can ensure that we're delivering these daily growth hacks right to you each and every day. On behalf of the whole team here, remember, go out and be the author of your own story.